God's timing is real. I could not have imagined living at my parents' house a year ago, but it's worked out really well. I have been just trusting the process and things are starting to fall into place. So trust his timing, trust what he is doing in your life. Trust when he's telling you to stay put. Trust when he's telling you to take that job. There was this one job and I felt so strongly to go after it. Go after it, go after it. And then it didn't pan out, and that's okay because God is teaching me to fight for things right now. So when he does put those other things in my life, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna it's probably scared probably scared the heck out of somebody. I'm sorry, but you just have to be ready and go after it because these things will happen without warning. God is always preparing you, and there will come a moment when it's like, okay, you already know what this is. I've been preparing you for this. Now you need to go after it. And you're not going to have another warning. You're not going to have somebody poking you. Go, go, go. You've already been prepared for that. You've had all those pokings in your soul as you've gotten ready, as you've worked on these things. And then the time comes for going after it. Do you really want it? That's the hard thing. It's like you've put in all this work and God has seen all of it. And then it's like, okay, now God is showing you what he's been preparing for you. And it's like, okay, do I still want it that bad? Do I still want it as bad as I did before when I had no idea what he was preparing for me? Now that I have an idea, am I willing to trust him? Am I willing to go after it? Living at home is not really what I wanted. When a little bit ago when I was living by myself, I was like, okay, God, I'm never going to live with my family again. I'm going to find a way. We're going to find a way, God. And that did not work out. I felt really strongly. I had a friend that, there's a place probably in his house where I could live. And I felt very prompted to not even mention the idea of living with that friend. God knows. God knows what's possible. God knows what can happen. God knows the big picture of every single situation. And so that's why you need to put yourself out there, going along with that last video. He knows what people you could run into. He knows what that job will lead to. He knows what all these things will happen, like what they'll lead to. He knows all those secret conversations that you have no idea about. He knows all those people that are talking about you in the best possible way behind your back. He knows all those people are like, oh yeah, that person, dude, he's going places. And I've gotten to hear some of that feedback, and it's humbling recently. And so it's like God is working towards your success. And you need to trust him and go after it with him. You need to trust his timing. You need to trust his plan. You need to trust what he's doing in your life. It's not going to make sense, especially in the moment. It's going to be like, well, what are we doing now? Why are we going on this, we're going on this roller coaster. We're going on this merry-go-round. It's like, God, I don't want to do this, man. What are we doing? And then you trust him, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was tripping. I didn't know what was going on. I know what you're doing. We start seeing everything that he's been seeing. And then we're like, but I still don't see hardly anything, do I? This is just, you still have so much more you want to do with me. And that's a beautiful thing. I've come full circle, A lot of changes have been happening in my life, and it's been really beautiful. And it's all because of God. It's all because I've been recommitting to writing, to running, to basically having no expectations, just to really enjoy life as much as I possibly can, to do literally everything I can do to lift up myself and to put myself out there. That has led to lots of beautiful things. It led to me being in Florida back in March, being in Vegas back in May, living by myself back in July, and living with my parents' house here in October. It's fun, good though. I believe that really, really beautiful things are ahead, and that there's no point in comparing this moment to anything else. It's like, this is a beautiful, wonderful moment. God has got me, he's got you. It says in Romans 8:18 that I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in us. That's so true. God has a plan. God has things worked out for you. I think of all the people that have made the path better for me, made it more joyful for me. I think of my future kids and how I want to make the path better for them. And I want to work hard for them. And God is aware of the deepest desires of your heart, and he's going to help you to Get all those out there. Sometimes with my poetry, I'm getting these feelings out and I'm not able to express them in any other way except poetry. And God knows that. He knows that there's a lot of things I'm excited for that I'm not ready for. And so we're using all these feelings creatively and putting them into poetry, putting them into podcast episodes, and it's so beautiful. God loves that. God's aware of all of us. He knows what we're facing. He knows what we will face. So trust him, and especially trust his timing, because it's not going to make a lot of sense in the moment, but I promise that it is going to make more sense down the road. So trust him. You're going to have a lot of compassion on yourself. You're going to be able to see a lot more clearly. I'm completely mind blown when I look back at teenagerhood and stuff, and I'm like, holy cow. There's definitely some ADHD moments back then. I didn't know I had ADHD back then. I'd have a lot more compassion on myself. But God was always leading me along and helping me out and seeking to rescue me and lift me up and prepare me for more or less what I'm doing now and what I will do in the future. So you can trust him, you can trust him, you can trust him, trust his timing, trust his plan, trust everything. Just trust him. If he's telling you something and he's told you something, that he's going to do it. That's what he does. That's literally what he does. He cannot go against his word. So trust him when he tells you something. Put yourself out there. Trust that what he can reveal in you, what he can put out of you is way, way, way bigger than anything you've ever done in your life. He is aware of that. He's aware of all those beautiful things that you've done. I've seen him do amazing things in me before, and I will see it again and again and again and again and again. And it's because of putting in this work and then there being some obstacle and him telling me to go for it, and I go for it, and he pushes me over it. He carries me over it with his spirit, with the help, the angels that he provides. We do have to put ourselves out there. So trust him, trust his timing. He's aware of you. He knows you. He's looking out for you. Subscribe for more videos. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.